I've fancied a fizzy drink, so I've got Coke Zero, but Holly won't let me have the can on the vault, so she's maybe put it in a mug. So,
they won't pay for advertising, so they're not having it.
Because it's cold and fizzy. And just,
That's such a wrong.
That's
just
such
feels,
a mind game.
I think can's part of the vibe. Like, it's part of the experience.
The crisp.
Yeah, like your enjoyment.
It's weird that it's cold. Hey ho. Looks good.
Nice festive. You need a mulled wine in there.
Yeah, you do. I hate mulled
Festive
wine.
drink. Yeah, it's not for me.
Makes me feel
Just
sick.
just red wine's fine.
I did that thing for years. I don't know if you did this, where when you're a kid, or even whatever age, you decide you don't like something. So you just decided, never tasted it, never. I went years having dry toast because I said I don't like butter. And then I eventually had buttered
And
toast.
we were like,
and it was the
what
best
have
thing.
I
And I'm like,
been
you're an absolute
doing?
idiot.
Yeah.
But like, what was I doing?
That's like my kids, just full
I
stop.
didn't know I didn't like it.
I'll eat something amazing. I'm like, do you want to try it? Like, no. I'm like, idiots.
Well, for me,
You're like, oh yeah, like, more for you. Like, you're missing out on this amazing thing. I can't think of an example, but it's
mulled
something-
wine, I think for years, I
just
would say,
signed it
no,
off.
no, thank you. And actually, I don't.
Bit of
I'm
star
not obsessed with it,
anise.
but it's
Bit of
nice.
star anise, cinnamon stick.
Yeah.
They're
I don't
weird,
think
though.
I like it really.
I am going to challenge you now.
have
I
you
think
had
you
it?
like it. Now I'm going through all the herbs and spices and stuff. I'm like,
You would
this
really
is
like it.
Lucy's ideal.
I had a chai latte this morning as well. Maybe
Oh, that's
it's-
what I mean.
God, you do like mulled wine, actually.
What's
We've just,
is blue
Blue
vine?
vine.
Blue
Blue
vine.
vine.
that's it.
Is that mulled wine?
Yeah.
Just
It's just the German, I think, for it. But
I think it's because it's like out of a mug as well. I don't know.
it's weird. It is a weird
weird,
thing to
yeah.
have.
I've out a can.
What are you drinking? Just more wine on the train to work.
Tinned wine.
It's got to be warm, hasn't it?
I had a
So,
great
yeah.
tinned wine the other day.
Really?
It was a
I
red
went to
as
some
well, wasn't it?
festive market thing, and yeah, it was a red wine in a tin, and I was like, this is gonna go south. Like, I thought it was gonna be a bottle, maybe. It was delightful. It was really good. It was a Spanish one, and I thought, oh, it won't be full bodied, and it was delicious. I would buy
But
it
again,
again.
was it experientially weird?
Yes,
like,
because I was
ooh.
like,
Oh,
this
did you
is-
drink it?
No, no,
Oh.
no. I put it in a plastic.
You put it in a.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have. Oh God, no. No. I wouldn't have drunk it out of the can. Heathen.
I don't really like red wine. I'm too young.
You're too young.
You the mistake.
I would want like
the
water.
ex-vegan.
Okay.
I want water.
When did
With
you
your
last
steak?
have one? A red wine?
Probably with like a roast dinner, and I was like obliged to have
When?
a glass. Probably like a year ago.
Oh, okay, so fairly recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, fairly recently. I just don't, even with like eating food, I know it's all like the wine and food
Yeah,
pairings.
you don't
but,
get
like,
it.
I'd want just
Water.
the food.
Yeah. You want
Don't
to
want a
enjoy
different taste.
this.
Yeah.
I get it.
A really good red with a steak. And also, I've never had a good non-alcoholic red.
No.
No, I
It's
don't.
full of I don't like non-alcoholic drinks, as in
They just taste
proclaiming
sugar. I'd
to be
rather
Yeah,
have-
the
no.
replacement. I'd rather have water. Genuinely.
Yeah, I'd
When
rather have
people-
like a little elderflower spritz.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my mum
definitely.
invited us
Sparkling
for a family thing, and she was like, "So I've got Prosecco because I don't really drink," and I was like,
I'd rather
"I
not
don't
have
want
it.
it. I'm really sorry." I was like,
It's
"It's
just
just
acid.
sugar." Yeah, it's just it's heartburn
Yeah.
in a bottle.
No.
So I will forgo Prosecco if that's all right with you, mum. And just stick
Alex's
to
dream
water.
is for like me to be a wine person because he's like all the, like the pairings
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff, and I'm like, enjoy the bottle.
Does he give
I'm
you the
like,
ick?
he can have more.
Yeah.
It's a great arrangement.
No, I don't know.
But isn't it funny what we pair things with, like practically like the mug and the cold?
Yeah, that's
Coke
so
Zero's
wrong.
funny.
Sometimes I'll put, if there's no clean glasses or if the dishwasher's on or whatever, if I'm taking like my supplements or whatever, I'll use a cup, a mug
it
with
weird?
water. Weird.
That's weird. Yeah.
Weird.
Welcome to the Vault with Financielle. This is a safe space where we talk all things life and money and no topics are off limits. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
How are we doing today?
We're good. Laura's going to a funeral.
Oh, I thought that was real.
Nope. She's all in black. She's taking
surprised.
my
I'm in
she's
black in the summer, black in the winter.
taking my trophy as the all in black. I'm here for it.
I wore, Holly says brown's my colour actually, but I don't have any other brown,
It
but
is.
I wore a dress on Morning Live and she was like, that's a really good dress. And it was actually £35 from Marks and Spencer's, but I've worn it a couple of times, but it did prompt me. You were like, what did you say? I think you suit sludge.
I think it was my mum. She was like, "You
Oh.
need your colours doing." You know, like when
The
the colour,
colour
like
assessment.
when they put like
The neck and,
And
the,
she said,
and the head.
but she said, I think you suit sludgy.
I think she meant like forest green, brown. blah blah blah.
I've bought a burgundy dress and a navy's not in
Yeah,
that
like in
palette,
that-
but dark. But I
autumnal.
like dark, and they're like on the show they're like bright. And so I have to buy bright
hard.
things, and then I only ever wear them there,
On
never
there,
anywhere else.
yeah.
But actually, I finally wore brown, and Holly was like, "Oh my god, that looked good," and I was like, "Okay," because you can't
It
wear
was
black.
really a colour.
Yeah.
Really a colour.
Black and white don't look helpful on camera. Like the lights can
really?
play around with them and stuff, and so you generally that's why if you watch TV, you won't actually see people.
I'm
wear
never going on
black or
TV
white.
then. End of my potential TV career.
Oh, yeah,
You can't wear
Don't
black.
ring me.
Well, I'm not coming.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a controversial opinion. Cutting out buying coffees will not make you rich.
Oh, do you remember that? I felt this was very like COVID times. This
I
message
feel like this
of
is like all of the boomers.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, these
Having
kids
your
these
coffees.
days having avocado toast.
yeah, and now they're
Don't know
all
why
eating
this
avocado on toast.
I
Yeah.
read something that avocado, because it's falling out of favour, avocado farms are struggling.
Why? Because
Because it was more of a trend.
No,
Like
you
avocado
can't
toast
get
was
a ripe
thing.
one. That's
I
why.
always think that, like,
can't get a ripe one.
were you eating avocados like when you guys were 20?
No.
Like, why? Isn't that so weird that
Like,
food's
Could you
just
We
imagine
like,
were-
come out of
that now with the
nowhere?
avocado?
No, although I can now, like because it's been made trendy. Because
My
it's in every
nanny,
menu.
my nanny's like golden life is to like avocado, and it's so funny. She sends me messages being like, "I'm trying it." She's like, sends me pictures of it on Ribita, and I'm like, "Nanny, you need to mash it up a bit." Put
She's
some
trying her
lemon juice."
best.
I
It
think
is a weird
the
texture.
avocados were nice. I think they got mass produced because
So then they
everyone
went,
liked them.
Yes.
Shite.
And they're rubbish. Like I've not
well,
enjoyed
they
one in a long
lie,
time.
ripe and ready. They're not.
No.
They're not.
Isn't that so weird though that like even foods can be like
Trend.
trends?
Yeah.
And same with like gin. Like I feel like gin had like a rebrand.
had a
It
moment.
went from like pirate drink to like cool.
That's rum.
No, yeah.
Never seen Pirates of the Caribbean. Sorry.
But it was actually like a
Classic
It was a
pirate.
poor person's London drink. Like it was gin.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it wasn't a good image.
London gin.
It wasn't a good image. It wasn't aesthetic.
London gin. It wasn't until someone was like, I know.
Like, what's next? What are they
Well,
gonna- what's
I saw-
ugly that?
Do you
they're gonna
know
rebrand?
Sarah Blakely that owns Spanx? Her husband started pickles, as in he was like, "There's one." He was like, "You either come up with a new idea,
Yeah,
or you disrupt an existing one and make it trendy, make it fashionable, make it viral." He was like, "One thing that's not been touched is pickles." He was like,
Like-
"It's massive
like
in America."
gherkins?
Yeah, like they sell
She's
like
here. She's ready.
they
Sign
sell
up.
like hotcakes. They're just a thing that's just constantly being sold. And he was like, so you disrupt that market and
Yeah.
you make
because there's
your
already
brand.
demand for it.
There's demand.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need to generate demand. It's already there. It was like, but you can stand out because they're all so boring. They're like really old brands that have done it for years and years and years. So the
They're just taking
packaging's-
everyone's cash.
Yeah, it's just like the packaging standard. Anyone will pick any, and he's like, just put an amazing aesthetic like
Yeah.
sticker on, make it trendy, make it cool. He was like, you'll fly, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, so true.
Because of a trend.
Yeah, and Jim was the same. It was like you said, didn't
Yeah.
really get marketed very well. Really,
what's next? Like, what's gonna?
Yeah.
What's like a?
I'm not telling you. I'm gonna go home and look in my cupboard. Beetroot, maybe.
Yeah,
But the thing with the coffees, I have literally two really weird opposing views on it. On the one hand, I'm big on let's not obsess over the small.
Yeah.
So someone will get a financed car and put money down the drain, give a load of money to the finance company, and over here go, I'm not going to have coffees because
Yeah.
I'm going to save up, and I'm on a budget. And they make, like I said, 10 quid decisions instead of 10 grand and, 100 grand decisions, and, increasing a percentage into your pension and starting a pension
Yeah.
has a 6-figure consequence, possibly a 7-figure consequence. But you're over here messing around with cutting a coffee out. And so I'm a big believer in that. The flip side is so much is about social media and aesthetic, and you see influencers going for a coffee. Coffee's content. So a nice coffee at home, better financially, but the fact that you could have got, coffee machines at home, even people that don't really like coffee, have them and get them.
Yeah.
But at least they're a better alternative to £4, £5 for a coffee.
Minimum for like a
So
bougie
expensive.
one.
Yeah, starting price, just as part of your day, not for the treat. And I think that's the danger that you see a lot of influencers with the iced coffee and the Gales
The
and
Blank Street coffee.
and that's a photo for them. It's a photo opportunity. It's something to do to put on there. You get that yourself every day. You're just on your commute. I can see how actually it's just a
That could be
waste.
30 quid a week, £6 a day,
Yeah.
30 quid a week, £120 a month on coffee. Times it by 12 months. What's that? Like over a grand on a coffee when you could have had
on
it.
something that didn't move the needle. So
Yeah.
like even doing it once
Mhm.
in the week is like what, 200 quid a year, 250. That's
Yeah, yeah.
okay. But it's for me, it's the mindless. I actually am not even connecting with this coffee.
No.
Yeah, I just need it.
Yeah.
I'm not
have
even
one
enjoying
for
it.
one before work, one during work with a cake, and then it's
Yeah.
the gateway thing, isn't it, that we talk about all the
you
time?
it's now normal to buy coffee. Instead, pick the one day a week that you're going to treat yourself, romanticize it, take time to drink it.
Yeah.
Like I've sometimes bought a coffee and I've let it even go cold.
and you're like,
Because I've been doing some work and I've answered a
Yeah.
call and suddenly I was like, that wasn't special. It was
Yeah.
£4.25
meant
of
to be a
rubbish.
treat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I do that if I'm like most mornings I will go for a little stroll before work, or if I've not been to the gym. And I'm like, if I really don't want to go, I'm like, you can get yourself a coffee. And I would
It's your
not do that.
incentive.
I wouldn't do that every
Yeah.
day. Like it's probably happens
but it
once a
gets
week.
you out. Yeah.
And I'm like, I can go and get a little Gales.
Yeah. I'm going to let myself. But it's
Yeah.
not like every morning I go to Gales,
No.
I get a pastry.
On the way
I
to
get-
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then at lunchtime,
I literally
go
walk
and
to
get
Gales and walk home.
yeah, to go and get them.
That is
But then
the
it's the
purpose.
people that then go, and then I won't prep lunch, and then I'll have 3 takeaways a week. Like it can just
Creep.
creep. It's that lifestyle creep piece.
yeah, I mean stuff's expensive. The not prepping lunches is another one that can really add up. I was so shocked. I get really shocked now what food costs, like takeaway convenience food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when
it's
you
insane.
work from home or you work in an office and food prep, when you've forgotten it or something's happened, and you're like, a jacket of potatoes like £6 something.
People do
Sorry,
this
what?
every day.
I
Yeah.
know. And then, well, when we went to the office and we've joked about soup before, but it's really good price. It's something like £2.50 and it's a good portion of soup and it's unlimited bread.
You could,
a
by the
lot
way,
of
you
bread.
could definitely go and refill that soup.
Here she is.
Don't tell anyone. But next to it is the salad station, of which has got smaller in size, smaller in the protein. So you used to get a chicken breast. You now get definitely half of chicken breast. And it's
We're like
about-
obsessed with the downfall
Yeah,
of
we
this
are.
salad
I
station.
think it's because it was so good at first. It was
Yeah.
a really big tub and it was big chunky feta and it's I think £8, maybe 7
I had it
quid.
the other day. It was actually really good. Just saying.
But you can't. It's not consistent.
No, it's not. You can't.
If you're spending that,
And you
you
can't
want
hang
that
on
it's
it.
on
good.
that. Like
You
when
can't
you're getting
hang
ready
your
in
hat
the
on it.
morning.
No.
You're like,
Will it be good? Will it not?
But then like Teddy likes KFC, doesn't he? That's his
Yeah.
treat. Like
Yes.
if he's been like really good at football, or like if sometimes he comes with us traveling to go watch my eldest play rugby, which usually involves rinsing my dad for a takeaway for the kids on the way home. And so
Granddad,
it
can we have
pops
a
up,
KFC?
Trish, but it's not him. And it's KFC, and I'm like, thank God they're in his car, because I saw how much a meal from KFC. If you go, do you want to go large? No. Do you want these on the side? No, thank you. Just the
worst
meal.
one's
Really?
where the village
Expensive.
park is next to Green Orchards. So the kids are always like, can we get a gingerbread? Can we get this? The other day I was like, yeah, come on, we'll all go and get one. And we literally spent like 30 quid on some
My
gingerbreads for some of the kids that everyone does it. All the parents chucking it. Wasn't just us.
Where it adds
But
up.
so the other day,
Expensive.
all the kids were on the park like, can I have a Green Orchards? I was like, no, I'm going to walk you over to Sainsbury's. We're going to get a multi-pack of cookies.
They didn't want
or
it then, did they?
Nope,
yeah,
didn't want
out of
it. Got a multi-pack of donuts or whatever, because I was like, £2 multi-pack of donuts or £2.50 per gingerbread that
Yeah.
you're going to leave anyway or drop on the floor or whatever you do. No, so it's just those little
It's a
choices.
balance.
Like you could do that every day.
But
And it would just
when you
tick up.
listen to this pod, we're like, make sure you're thinking of the big decisions.
Yeah.
The big decisions. You're like, if you have savings, are they sat not making money? Because that could pay for the little spending over here
Definitely.
just by making one decision and then automating it for the rest of the year. Are you investing for long term? Are you doing this? Those are the
People
bigger.
that pay 30 quid for the Starbucks cups.
What, like
And
the
queue and fight.
Oh yeah, like the Stanleys and everything.
Literally.
Oh God.
It's when you're buying into a brand as well.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you're loyal to it and you want to
Yeah.
keep.
I'm looking
Gales.
at you. Yeah.
I'm a Gales girl.
You are a Gales girl.
Never,
I just love
ever
Gales.
been to
Never
Gales.
been to one.
There's none in our life.
We live in a
I've
leafy
never
village,
been
but not
no,
that
I'm
leafy.
thinking
It's not
Gales is
trendy
going to
enough.
open soon.
Where?
Chester.
In Chester.
No, where you are.
Oh, where we are.
No.
They like
No.
infiltrate villages.
No, it's not trendy
Really?
enough, our village.
I think
Green
it
Arches
but
is
it's
next to the
not.
park.
We're more Green Orchards than Gales.
There is a Waterfields, which is a local
There is a
family-owned
Waterfields.
one.
There was a Waterfields where I grew up as well.
Ooh. Very northern, all of us are.
I think
know.
the- I
And
think-
Green
I
Orchards.
think
If
the
you're
Green
listening to this podcast and you have no idea what Green Orchards is, it's like Greg's.
But actually better.
Yeah.
So much better, I think.
not mass produced. It's like
I
smaller
recently
bits.
found out there's a female CEO of Greg's.
Oh, I do love Greg.
They're doing very well. There you go. That,
Well,
that explains it.
Who's Greg?
Who's Greg?
Right,
Okay.
hit us with the dilemma. Let's try and help someone now. We've had a great time talking about
Greg.
our food.
Okay. Paying double while building up sinking funds. That was a question mark. Hi, ladies. I'm very new to the app, but I've listened to the pod for a while, and I'm so ready to get my money shit together. I'm currently saving for my February 2025 wedding, so I need to be patient, as I know I'll have more excess after this to get my debt down. I currently pay monthly for things that should be paid annually: car tax, car insurance, gym membership, etc. I know that I need to look at the annual cost and split that sum monthly into a sinking fund to save up to pay it all in one go when it's due. However, how do I manage this while still currently paying it monthly? It almost feels like a double bill until I have enough saved to start paying it annually. P.S. I'm looking forward to being on this journey with you.
Well, welcome and congratulations
Hello.
on the wedding.
Yeah.
She's right. You have to pay double. It's a double hit.
Sinking funds. I think we spoke about this on pod not so long ago. Like that dopamine hit's not going to come for a while, but when it does, I promise you it will be worth it. It is you are paying double for a little bit, aren't you? While you get them set up and sorted.
Yeah, and I, you've got to put yourself at like if you're listening, you're a seasoned sinking funder, you'll forget that pain of the first one. And so when you're doing your first budgets and you're building up these sinking funds so that you can take advantage of discounts, pay for things up front and get it paid. Once you've done it once you've built up that annual whilst you're paying your monthlies, you've done it then. And then you're saving up monthly for the annual. What have I seen people do? A couple of things. I've seen people not do it for all of them. So if you're really struggling to, because what I've done with some people when we've looked at their budgets, there's not the room to do both. There's not the room to build up emergency savings and pay for some of these things annually. And so we start small and you pick a couple, like things like, your TV lessons or your road tax, or it's a small amount of money, maybe your home insurance, and you start to make a dent in it and you accept that like the bigger ones, like the car one, just has to wait.
Very meaty these days, aren't they? Like
it's expensive,
not to be
so you
sniffed at
can't
to get
double
an
pay.
annual sinking fund for your car insurance.
So what I would do and what I've seen work really well is pick some that you're going to do that for. It practices your sinking funds. You don't build up sinking funds for like your home maintenance or your car maintenance, and you focus on the emergency fund. If you can build that emergency fund, it then can cover you for any emergencies that some sinking funds would typically help with. And then you move on to overpaying your debt. When you can pay off some debt, you're going to get room in the budget. This is the whole point of paying off debt, is if you can snowball it and you can overpay one of them, that minimum payment goes. So say if you overpay your phone and suddenly you're not paying monthly for your phone, just the contract, you're not paying for the actual device, that might save you £20 in a month, £25. That can go towards the sinking fund thing. Also, you might be able to pay a credit card, and then suddenly that credit card monthly payment has gone.
It's like snowballing your sinking funds, isn't it?
It is a little
like
bit. So starting small, obviously, and that's why if you build up your sinking funds, you are having less excess to overpay the debt, and it's balancing both, because you don't want to have no sinking funds and just overpay debt, because when these payments come around, you're missing out on these discounts by paying it up front, and it makes you feel really good, and we're all about how things feel. So like, this is why it's good every month. Keep an eye on it. How's the sinking fund doing? Some people have the big ones coming up soon, and sometimes it's easier to go, I'm not doing it this time, but I'll start it once I've signed up for it, I'll do it next. So she's not wrong. It does hurt, that double.
Some people as well, at the end of the month when they've budgeted, they've happened to find some excess somewhere as well. And some people go, so I'm going to fill up my, my car insurance, the meaty one, the one that's like difficult to do, because it's expensive.
Yeah, could get like a refund, couldn't they, or a gift.
If money comes in and they've got an emergency fund and the next thing is that's coming up, that payment, they might just put it in there. I've seen people do that with like sweep some where they overhead sinking funds as well. So I've done that before. I've gone, I think we're going to spend this much on entertainment fund money in our budget this month, and we haven't. So and I've gone, do you know what? Groceries are really expensive this month, so I'm going to just top that up a little bit. You can tweak your budget all the time. Yeah, I do move sinking funds around, especially when you've got it quite visual in the app. You've just got that flexibility to move stuff around. You don't have to be a stickler on stuff.
But once you've done it once, So like I said, it might be that tackle some of them rather than all of them. Once your wedding's out the way, that's a big expense that's going to like free your mind up from like life admin and management as well. But I'm sorry, no magic wand for that one.
No,
Once you've done it once, you'll feel amazing.
It's worth it in the end.
Okay, I've actually got a follow-up
Ooh,
from my dilemma.
Right, okay.
Okay. I just wanted to follow up from my dilemma, which was discussed on episode 26. I was the lady who had over £80,000 of debt and whose husband announced he also had additional debts I didn't know about.
I remember, did he have a business?
I think so.
I think he had a bit. I remember this one. I remember it was such a big number.
Significant.
And we were like, you will break it down. And
Yeah.
okay.
So
I need to go back and listen to that one now.
I really wanted to send in an update on the progress we've made in the 6 months since. We now have an emergency fund. Yes, we've had to use it, but we haven't added to our debts. We've totally overhauled our budget, following on from difficult conversations. We realised that the way we were tracking our money just wasn't working. We went through every single line and my husband is now totally on board. It turned out he just felt he didn't understand what was going on and felt like the split between us wasn't fair. We've addressed this now and have a money date night every month to discuss the monthly budget. We have paid off £16,000 of debt in 6 months.
That's amazing.
Oh
See,
my gosh.
honestly.
This includes getting rid of the car and changing to a cheaper one. I can't believe the number and never thought we could do such amazing progress in such a short amount of time. We still have approximately £70,000 of debt left to pay, but we are moving in the right direction. Sinking funds really do save lives.
Timely.
We've finally established sinking funds and it's transformed our spending. We have stripped back most social activities, agreed no holidays, reduced drinking almost entirely, and cutting subscriptions and beauty treatments. I've even started doing my own nails.
You?
Yeah. To conclude, thank you so much for the advice and honesty in the original podcast response. It really was the push we needed. We've made loads of sacrifices and cut out all that we can and tried to reflect honestly on what we actually need to have a good life. We're desperate to clear the rest and claim back our nearly £3,000 a month we currently spend on debt. So far, we've got an extra £600 a month back in our budget from the items we've paid off. Thank you so much, and we're finally looking forward to what next year will bring.
Oh my
Round
God.
of applause. That is it. Right. If they can do 16 grand in 6 months,
Yeah, that's
what are they
crazy.
going to do in 2 years? Because every debt that they start to pay off, more goes into. So that 16 grand is going to be 20 odd grand.
They've got
isn't
£3
it?
grand a month that's going on payments, and you can understand how more's gonna. Oh my
That's so exciting. And she
Also-
sounds so happy. She's not like, and it's miserable and
I
it's
remember
hard.
the
right
weight
direction.
of
Yeah.
that first. I remember
Yeah.
that because it was a big number.
It was very
and it's
somber, wasn't it?
very scary for people. You like, even if you have good income, even if kind of there's stuff to go at, any number, but it was a big number, and it can
Touching
make some people
100.
go bankruptcy,
Can't do it,
and just
yeah.
go, oh, not that's the easy way out, but that there's no other way out. And I just, what a journey for her and her husband as well. Like, this is therapy.
Could be the making of their relationship. Like that could money stress puts a lot of like marriages into
Massive.
divorce.
So good that they're on the right page, the
Yeah.
same page.
But you have to have that, like, come to Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, hi for the
Come to
non-practicing Catholics in
Financielle.
the room. Like, just they had to have that moment where this. You said this where it's like, give me someone else's budget, and I'll have a good go with it.
Yeah,
before,
tell me you can't
because-
do without, and let me have a go at it.
And so
themselves.
sometimes people come to us and say, and I've cut everything, and we're doing what we can, and it's like,
What's
With-
this, scales?
With acrylic nails. Done everything.
with like beautiful hair color, and we're like, have you though?
New trainers.
But it is that moment where someone recently actually said in the community that they, we do it where when you get to routine, you copy your budget over, you just crack on. But and you're meant to do a new one every month, but you still use that copy functionality. But sometimes it's
Still
good to go.
check through it all.
Let's start at the top.
Yeah, someone said, I'm going to do it from scratch. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to do it from scratch
I'm
as
scared.
well. Yeah, but it's good. It makes you go,
Makes
do
you
we need
rethink
to?
everything.
Yeah.
Do we need
Line
to?
by line.
Our entertainment budget pretty much stays quite similar every month. And I'm like,
Should you lower it?
yeah. And every month there's always there's
It's always
left
good to
over.
review.
Yes. They've done so much.
But the
in
fact that
such
you do
little
it
time.
together, he obviously then shared with her that he felt like he didn't know what was going on, and he felt that they weren't paying fair amounts. And actually, what then happens in the relationship is you never want resentment to build up. That's the biggest thing. You know, we've joked with you about this with like,
when Alex buys a pair of trainers,
it's 11 a week.
Lucy buys a pair of trainers.
And I think that, you know, it's when there's resentment, like when you feel someone's getting more.
You're getting shortchanged.
Yeah,
like,
just like.
And we're big on women for that, aren't we? Whereas this sounds like it was the other way around a little bit. Whereas we're like, make sure you're not paying as much as him. Make sure the budget's fair. You know, if he's getting paid more, it's just the other way around. It doesn't matter. Male, female,
This
female,
is why
female.
combining the management of money, even you don't actually combine the finances, combining the management of it can really help, because I've done some calls with people recently where it's like, so he pays this and then I pay that and then she pays that and then, it sounds like there's 3 people in that relationship. But it's just like, so none of you actually know what things cost and what you're actually paying. So then you might both be feeling that you're being shortchanged.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before where we don't, heating bills have gone up. And if one of you in the relationship pays for heating bills and that's going up and up and up and they're having to suck up that cost.
It could be someone's paying the food. It's all right. Why do we constantly do he pays for the mortgage and I pay for the
head in.
Bills are freaking expensive. You're being played a fool because energy goes up, food goes up, everything gets squeezed, and that person, the mortgage probably stays really.
They know what they're going to pay.
A fixed term.
They know what they're going to pay.
And also, can we talk about how sometimes if you're not married, if you are not, then if something doesn't work out later and you've been paying for food and they're paying off the mortgage, you can't be like, I've contributed to the household. And it's like, oh no, but you didn't.
You got an avocado out of it.
You
got even ripe.
It wasn't even absolutely rubbish. But also, you know, he may feel shortchanged and she goes, oh, do you want to try to do the Asda shop then? And then he goes,
the life admin. Do you want the life admin?
It's expensive. Like you think that food's cheap and I'm paying for the bills, but it's like it swings and roundabouts. And that's why transparency around what things cost. And I believe in any relationship where you've been together longer than a year and you live together, it's really important about living together. That even if you don't combine finances, just put the money in at the top. And
like theoretically, like go,
add it all
Our
up.
household income comes to this.
Yeah.
Combine the management of your finances, because it'll really test out whether you're going to work out with this person long term, about whether we can.
Say if you can't manage your money after a year being together, how are you going to
do anything else bigger? Like buy, trust that you can buy a home with someone, trust that you maybe even have children in the future with someone. Yeah, it's like it's such a good connection. I just feel like you have a lot of empathy with your partner when you plan goals together as well, and the fact and
how are we going to get there?
Yeah, like, paying off debt together must be really exciting.
We need to listen to that episode back because I hope we didn't say break up.
Leave him. Dump him. Red flag.
I don't think
it sounds good.
I think they wondered whether bankruptcy got brought up, so I will listen back to it. I'm really excited to see the fact that they've made that progress, because the exciting time then is when this debt's gone.
We've already got $3,000 that goes to that. What are you gonna do? There needs to be a plan, because you just don't want to go. I don't think you will, because this is such a big journey that you're on. I can't foresee you going back into debt. But what are you going to do with it? Like, what's the plan?
Can we have like a quarterly follow-up?
Yeah.
I'm invested in this outcome now.
Amazing. Love that.
On that note, if you've ever sent a dilemma in, please send us a follow-up to thevault@financielle.com, because we're nosy.
How many relationships have we broken up? Leave him. He's not good for you. He's taking advantage of you.
And if you're the partner of someone, sorry, told. We're really sorry.
Okay, time for the next dilemma, which actually leads on nicely. Me and my husband had very different money upbringings. My husband and I grew up in very different socioeconomic households, and this is starting to show with planning for our future. He grew up with very limited money in a single-parent household and never thought he would own a home or have the disposable income he does. I grew up in a very upper middle-class family, and I know I was lucky. However, we both view where we should be financially very different. He has made it, and he has more than he thought he would, but I feel I am not even close. I know times have changed and the cost of living is different, but how do I manage this conversation, as I find I get very emotional about it?
Oh, this is a good one, but I can't. I want a bit more information, because I don't know where they are in their life and where she thinks they should be. Like I'm thinking that.
So I'm thinking that
he's kicking back.
They've got the house. They're like just doing good. Like they're surfing.
Yeah. And she wants to kick it up a notch, because that's what she's
like,
been
what's
used
next?
to. Yeah.
And he's like,
how are we going to grow
this? Is amazing. We're
this
doing
is the
really
promised
well.
land.
Yeah.
Oh, I have so much sympathy with this.
There's a massive fear of when you don't come from a lot that it's going to be taken.
Yeah.
Like that.
So the fact that
you'll
he
lose
feels
it.
good about money, you really have to respect that, because if he's come from a place where it could be gone at any moment, or there just was never any money, you have to let him have a bit. You have to
like
give
that
a bit.
feeling of security must feel so good for him.
Let him bask in it for a little
Yeah.
bit is what I would say.
Yeah, and let him enjoy spending.
Yeah.
A little bit. You know, that might also be an issue. She's
Might be a
not
bit
shared
alien
that,
to
but
him to spend.
that it's not a waste.
Yes.
Like that you can invest in spending. You can spend
Treat
on
yourself.
You can treat yourself, and the walls don't all fall down.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because this is where time's a bit of a healer with stuff like this, because the longer that you are someone with savings and with a comfortable life and with a comfortable house, the more that becomes the norm.
Yeah.
And you retrain your brain a little bit. I've said this to friends before when we've talked about some people really want to keep lots of money in cash, like, and not invest. We've had someone on the pod before that's talked about
60 grand in savings, and we were like,
and even higher than that, some of them. And it's
something with
because the fear of that going or going down mentally is just too hard for them to handle. And it's kind of like, well, if you like that, then stick with that. And the longer that you get used to that, you then can start going, okay, I might try other things that, like, you know, as we know, investing typically will provide a better return over the long term. As history tells us, obviously, we know that there's risk in that, but there's also risk in holding money in cash, because if you are not making more than inflation, basically the money's going backwards. And so this is about gentle baby steps and nudging forward into things that can advance your wealth, advance your financial well-being, without feeling like
you're pushing someone or pulling someone kicking and screaming.
Don't want to do that.
And I think you're right, small and steady. And I just think like it could be an education thing as well.
Yeah, like go through together. Like you
Yeah.
obviously might already know all of these things, but I think going through it together,
Yeah.
and going on that journey together.
Shall we? What do
Yeah.
you think? I want to learn
Like
more
imagine
about.
this feeling of security you have now.
Yeah,
Like imagine that times 10.
yeah. I think
Get
true
him
long-term
excited.
financial planning, like whether that's like do some goals yourself and have a little research, or whether it is going to see a financial planner. Like a lot of independent financial advisors will give free check-in sessions, 30-minute sessions. And so if there's nothing wrong with looking forward and going, okay, what does life look like, you know, and how does that get funded? And so what changes can we make now, even if it's just the education piece? You don't have to actually do anything, but
because as working in this business, of all our financial education has increased over time. Like, it's not a condescending thing to be like, oh, wouldn't it be good for us to learn more about what we can do with our money? Like, we're in a really good place now. Imagine if we wanted kids in the future, or we wanted to, I don't know, start our own business or whatever it might be. Like, shall we start learning a little bit about it? Because when you learn, you feel a bit more confident. So instead of going, let's deploy all our excess money into investments, someone might they might be like, absolutely not. Like you say, there's a fear of it going, being frivolous. Like, let's just stay safe. You can just stay safe forever.
I think go through the money playbook, because it seems like they've got to the end of build.
Yes.
And he's like,
I'm done. Checked out. Yeah, feet up.
That's me done.
Yeah. Because it can be really passive.
I think Carl can be like that. You know, he's someone who's always been good with money, right? But he's never been into investing. He was so good with money. I mean, he bought a house without telling his parents.
Oh my God.
On the day he moved out, I think it was like 19, he bought with a friend. It's just like,
that's very Carl.
Poor mother. You know, you're like, I'm moving out today.
Got a house.
Bought a house. Well, you know, I believe it was connected to he'd got a small inheritance and bought a car with it, right? And then sold the car and used that as the funds for a house deposit. So super, like, you know, we come from working class backgrounds where like home ownership is the ultimate, right? Yeah. That is, you're good with your money. That is the fact that he did that at 19 is iconic. It really is. And it was like this point where that was it for him mentally in his financial education. If someone,
so I guess I'll retire now.
But it was kind of like, there isn't anything next.
What
it's
else?
Just, you know, because no one taught us about it.
Yeah.
So if someone in his life had been like, oh, also if you could put this here,
it's a hack.
Interestingly, when we combined it, we did the pension be like pension combined his pensions and got one from a job that he had at like 1920, because he didn't even go to university. And in true actual cavalier male, like probably way, he had put it in a super risky place. So like it was in a pension, but he'd picked tech
High
funds.
risk.
So it had done really well because
Carl's a millionaire.
It was still it wasn't solo Apple stock, so he's not quite a millionaire. But this like tiny job they had on a tiny wage, actually.
Few more, Carl.
And I was looking at where it was, and it had been put in tech, and it had been put in high risk because at the time he was 20.
So Laura was like, "Hi, Carl.
Hi.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Carl. You're looking
You
really
joking?
good."
We were along together then, and I was like, and he had not even realised. It was just at the time.
I can imagine the conversation, Laura opening it, like
this
him
has
going,
performed
"Look
really
at this
well."
letter, Carl. Did you do this?"
Oh, like I said, it wasn't high in value, but it was high in percent because. But this is the point: like he'd made that decision, but no one then had told him that. And so the reason I'm sharing that about the house thing was that was it. There was nothing else, and so for him, I have to. That's why I love that we do our net worth every month.
Yeah, you can
because
see it.
He needs to see. If I didn't do that, what would happen is he wouldn't really be interested in overpaying the mortgage, and he wouldn't really be interested in investing. He likes to stay for holidays and have emergency savings. They're his favorite thing, travel and money in the bank. So I have to nudge him. And then there's the months where you see it go up and go down, but mainly the goes up. He goes, "Oh my God, thank God we do this. Like, thank God
But because you've got an emergency fund in place, and because you've got a good budget and you've got an idea of what's going on, it's okay if it goes back. It's not a panic situation. I think for me, slowly catch your monkey is the way I would go about it. You don't have to be condescending, you don't have to be like forcing, kicking and screaming, but you can be like, wouldn't it be fun? Because we're in this really good place. There's always like, what could be the next thing we could do? Should we start to think about investing? Not like, we're going to invest and we're going to do this.
Everything that we've got, we're going to invest.
Yeah, like the mum, we're all on a diet, the family's on a diet, and then you're all like, Mum.
And say pick some goals. So that you need something next. When you're in grow, you need to know what you're doing. And sometimes it's automating some of those, and a decision every time puts extra risk on you. So if you get to the point when you're in grow in the playbook, like you said, run through the money playbook. We like to see you investing a minimum of 15% of your gross income into retirement and other investments. And so have a look at where you're at on that scale. So the first decision might just be kicking that up a little bit. It might also be, actually, we'd really like to overpay our mortgage. Look at your excess and put a little bit in that. Like, it's what sometimes make the decision once and automate it for 12 months.
And give options. Like, would you be more, like, if you're not bothered, but you know you want to do something, you can be like, do you want to pay off the mortgage, overpay the mortgage, or shall we start to invest, or shall we look at our particular retirement funds? And
you might do nothing for 6 months. You might just stay as you are, but plan it.
Play this podcast in the background.
Oh, exciting though. Well done.
Yeah.
What a lovely place to be.
Yeah.
Okay, that is all for this episode. The Vault is now closed. And just a quick disclaimer, The Vault is just a chat around life and money topic, and we are not giving financial advice.